Hey everybody, it's Gypsy and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. I'm going to apologize in advance for the traffic. What we're doing today happens to be in the front yard near the road, and I live on a state road. And it's a beautiful day, so people are going to work on their motorcycles. So I'm really excited because today is my first foraging video of the year. And as I predicted, the first one was going to be purple dead nettle. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. So, first we're going to talk about the identifiers. Okay, it's called dead nettle. It kind of, put my glasses on, guess the leaves, they sort of resemble nettle. But they call it dead nettle because there are no prickly things to hurt you on here. So I'm not wearing gloves, as you can see, because I really don't have to worry about it. Another thing you don't have to worry about is dead nettle having a dangerous look-alike. Okay, it does not have one. This, many people consider a weed. I don't. What other people consider weeds, I don't consider weeds because they're useful. Purple dead nettle happens to be one of them. So you can see the leaves, what they look like here. They're a little bit furry. This is in the mint family, but it's not mint. Okay. Another way, a really good way to identify it is the stem. Feel the stem, just like mint. It's kind of square, okay? And then, I think some have pink flowers, but in the area I live, they're purple. Okay, so, it is what? Today's March 19th. It is best to harvest purple dead nettle at the beginning stages when it's young. Now, you could do it all season long, all summer into fall, but when you have the fresh young leaves, like you see those little ones there, it's really good. Now, the flowers, probably you might want to get a little sooner than this. You don't want them fully open, but I think this will be okay. Okay, so it's very easy to identify if you live in the eastern half of the country, especially like the Northeast, Eastern Midwest. I don't know about the other side of the Midwest. They're all over the place. It's very easy to find. I'm going to show you. It is like growing like crazy under our black locust tree. So in a minute, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now, this is early season, but it's going to be covering the whole thing, the whole area eventually. Okay, so get back in my harvest basket. It's so good to have my harvest basket back out. Anyways, let's talk. I had to write notes down, make sure I didn't forget anything. So, culinary wise, you can use it any way you would spinach. Or any other green, but mostly I always relate it to spinach. Now, medicinally, it's very high in vitamin C, iron, and fiber. Now, it is an anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antibacterial, and it's very good for treating skin wounds. So, what else? Let's see. It is good for allergies. Okay, so this are the two main things for me. When I was looking at it, I did see other things that I did not think about. Unfortunately, it's in the house, those notes. So as a salve, and I am going to use it this way, you know, for wounds, you want to do it as a salve. So what I'm going to do is, after I bring mine in, I'm going to show you how much I have harvested so far. I am going to harvest more But I've got my basket pretty full. So what I'm going to do is after I wash these, I'm going to put them, like fill a mason jar halfway. Then I'm going to cover it with either olive oil or grapeseed oil and let it sit in a dark place for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. You want to shake it like, I don't know, once or twice a day. And so you're infusing the oil with dead nettle. Okay? So now, there's many ways to make salve. But you're going to use that oil. You always have to put oil in salve. I add beeswax to mine to make the salve the right consistency. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make my oil, my dead nettle oil, and then I'm going to turn that into a salve and keep it on hand for wounds. Another thing I want to do with this is you can treat allergies with it. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You can do it via an infusion, which is otherwise known as a tea, which is kind of the wrong name because tea is a plant. It is the tea plant, which is an herb that we steep to drink hot tea. So when you're using other herbs, it's not technically herbal tea, unless you have tea in there, I guess. It's an infusion, okay? So you could do it that way, either dried or with fresh dead nettle. Let's see. And then there's tincture. Do you want to get some type of alcohol? Like usually vodka with a fairly high alcohol rate. And you're basically going to do the same with that as when you're infusing oil. Okay, and then you strain that. Put that and you, I don't know, I would say maybe, depends on the person's size, but I would look it up. A couple drops on the tongue, or I would say under the tongue to treat allergies. Or you can drink it as an infusion / tea. Now, if you're going to do that, be careful that you do not ingest too much dead nettle. Okay, you want to keep it to a minimum. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in the bathroom most of the time because it could cause diarrhea. Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold a second. I'm going to show you what the dead nettle looks like underneath the black locust tree here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of how I forage. Okay, so hold tight. Okay, so this is our black locust tree. Now under here is, as you can see, we have a whole bunch of dead nettle. Now I did harvest quite a bit of this already. I do not take it down to the root unless I'm getting it from a gravel driveway here. In here I snip it, snip off. Now, whenever I forage, there's some back there. I don't take all of it because you want it to last. You want it to keep coming back, and you do not want this plant species, even though some think that's a weed, to me it's not. You want it to keep coming back. You don't want it to go extinct. So you take about, some people say a half. I usually do a quarter. There's some bitter crust there. Okay. And I snip those off. See, here's some coming out into the yard. I snip those off, put those in my basket. Now, it does not matter what your spiritual belief is. However you do this, just do it, whatever your style is. Now, when I am harvesting, I put out the energy of gratitude towards the plant, because this plant is making a sacrifice and doing you a favor. The Creator put this plant on this earth to help us medicinally, nutritionally, Okay, which is pretty much the same because, well, let food be thy medicine. So we must always, when we are foraging, now a lot of people, they will ask permission of the plant first. And whatever they pick up from that plant is the answer they go with. So whenever I forage, I always do put out that vibration, that feeling, that energy of gratitude towards the plants. Plants do have energy, which is why I work with them, because it is their energy mostly that is healing. Okay? So whatever your faith, your religion, your spiritual outlook is, do your best to remember to put out gratitude. Okay, now that being said, dead nettle for my sisters and brothers of the craft. For me, it's a green craft. As you can see, I work with herbs and plants. Dead nettle is for happiness and joy. So when you are practicing your craft, use it accordingly in however you do it. So look at that beautiful flower. So anyways, that is it for our first foraging video of the year. I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.